is Bill's impact on young people. When we were planning our Midwest Birding Symposium, we had dinner downtown, and I remember going out to Bill's car, and he pops open the trunk, and there are just dozens of copies of the Young Birders Guide, and he just starts handing them to us in bundles, saying, hey, give these out, here a bunch, use them however you want. And maybe under different circumstances it would have seemed a little shady, but here we are, we're sharing Young Birders field guides out of the trunk of Bill Thompson III's car. That's an odd career highlight for me, and it's a memory that'll stick with me for a long time. I believe this is Katie Fallon's daughter. If you know Katie Fallon, she's an author, and I know has a connection with BirdWatchers. I see you guys pairing up all the time on social media, which is really cool. Another person we hosted during my time in Michigan, and also has been hosted here in Tucson. So if you don't have a copy of the Young Birders Guide, or if you're looking for a gift for a young birder, I'd say this is, having looked through this dozens of times, I'd say this is, a gift that needs to be on your list. Alternatively, pick up 6 copies and keep them in the trunk of your car, and the next time you're out on the birding trail or at an in-person festival, which we hope very much to have in the near future, you can dole them out to young people who might benefit from that little boost. And of course, we like to to remember Bill in lots of different ways other than just birding trail experiences. We were really lucky to have Bill as our keynote speaker for the 2018 Southeast Arizona Birding Festival. And this is remarkable because that 2018 was also the year our festival made a huge leap in terms of size and conservation impact, number of field trips, number of volunteers involved, and number of attendees. And Bill was a really big part of that. So, thinking back about the success of Tucson Audubon and the way that we've been able to provide this opportunity during monsoon season in Southeast Arizona, it's really synonymous. That success is really synonymous for us with Bill Thompson III. So pretty sure there's some music out there you can probably download or purchase from our friends at BirdWatchers. If you haven't listened to the Rain Crows, you need to get on that for your next birding road trip. And here's a photo that we're really proud of, again, from the 2018 festival, where we're trying to have a renewed focus on youth. And this was at our most frequent field trip destination, Sweetwater Wetlands, which is right here in the city of Tucson. It's, for those that don't know, it's a reclaimed wastewater site that is just full of habitat and likewise full of birds. Also not unusual to see things like bobcat, rattlesnakes, javelinas. So having this very urban experience with the combined sustainability related to water that is always a concern here in the Southwest, and the ability to weave that into our festival and have Bill be a part of it in engaging youth was a big deal. And every time I look at this picture, which is once in a while, it definitely makes me smile. So that is our introduction to the Bill Thompson III Youth Award, and I believe that our development director Keith Ashley is on the call, and actually we're gonna ask Wendy if you wouldn't mind saying a few words first. So thank you very much, everybody, and here is Wendy Clark, Editor-in-Chief at BirdWatchers Digest magazine.
Hi. Well, actually, my editor is with me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That job is for smarter people than I am. But yeah, I get to have my name on the loans these days. So I'm the one running the show, or it's running me. But this is my colleague Kelly Ball. She's our advertising sales director. Jessica Melfi is our assistant editor. I'm Wendy Clark, and I just want to say, John, I love you so much. Thank you for this wonderful tribute, and I miss our years together in many adventures in Michigan, one involving karaoke that can't be talked about in a public setting, but we have some fun memories. Bill would be so incredibly honored at this award being named after him. There was nothing that he was more passionate about than showing young people birds and getting them excited about birding. He was contagious, his energy was contagious. And we don't all have that gift, but I think everybody can reach somebody for birding. Bill just walked in the room and it was magnetic, you were just sort of drawn to him. And he was genuinely excited and passionate about birds, conservation, bird watching, and he loved nothing more than what you see right here in this photo. And everywhere he went, before he died, I asked him, and I think this was recorded on a podcast interview. We asked him what, he'd written 25 books or something like that, and this was the thing he was most proud of in his whole career, The Young Birder's Guide, because that's kind of what everything he wanted to do, from a writing standpoint, he was able to accomplish in that book. So he would be so thrilled, and I can't wait to meet this year's recipient. Last year's recipient was, we're still really good friends, and it was so fun being there for the first award being given away. But I would like to add that our contribution, along with Zeiss Sports Optics, and Rich Moncrief is here with us today. They are going to be donating on behalf of the Bill Thompson III Young Birders Fund, which is part of what donates to this award, a complimentary pair of Zeiss Conquest binoculars will go to the winner, and also a financial donation will go to Tucson Audubon for their Young Birders programs and for education. So we're really happy that this fund can help not just this organization, but many, but it'll keep it going there in Tucson. And John, Luke, Keith, all of you, thank you so much for what you do. I can't think of a better team of people running the show down there, guys. You guys are extraordinary and such lovely people. And you've got the magic. And I think Tucson Audubon is really, really fortunate to have you guys. Thanks so much to all the volunteers this week that have made it happen. And again, on behalf of all of us at BirdWatchers Digest, and Bill, whom I'm sure is watching and listening and wishing I'd probably said something different. We thank you, and thank you for this great honor, and we can't wait to see more good things to come in the future. Thank you.
Well, Wendy, thank you so much for those kind words. If we have the magic here, it's because of all the people joining us today, joining us at the festival. We really are just the sum of all the amazing people who show up for birds in Southeast Arizona. And I'm so excited that I don't think there can be many benefits to the COVID era, but one thing that has happened is we have been put in touch with people all over the country and all over the world more regularly than ever before. And I think if we're really, really going to do something amazing for the birds of Southeast Arizona, that's how we're going to do it, is by having a worldwide audience who recognizes the real magic that we've got here that we're trying to protect. So thanks to Wendy for saying that magic word, magic. And thank you for the binocular donation to this year's winner and for the contribution to our youth programs. That's fantastic. We appreciate it. So this year's award winner is Maia Stark. And I'm going to say a few words about her, and then Maia is going to share some thoughts with us as well. So to say that Maia is a remarkable youth and conservation-minded birder just begins to scratch the surface of the gifts that she brings to our community. First and foremost, she brings us a lot of hope for the future. Her love of birds, her capacity for thinking really big about the contributions she can make to conservation in her life, and the personal sophistication that she exhibits at 15 are all really inspirational. Maia has been fundraising for Tucson Audubon since she was 8 years old, so that's 7 years now. And through Birdathon, she's raised $18,000 to support the organization. She's taken the initiative to stay in touch with us, even though she's been abroad for the last 2 years. She spent a year in Kuwait, and this year she's in Switzerland with her family. She's currently taking a Cornell Labs introductory course on bird biology, and she's regularly engaging her unique perspective to write blogs for us, and she has a regular column in the Vermilion Flycatcher, our quarterly news magazine. So she's really part of the family and has been engaged with us for quite a while. She not only deserves to be awarded the Bill Thompson III Award, but I think she helps to elevate the significance of this award for us by being this year's recipient. The award through Tucson Audubon carries a $1,000 grant that will be encouraging Maia to further invest in her bird studies and her conservation interests. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Maia here to say a few words for us.
Wow. Thank you so much. Really honored to receive this award. And the extra gift of binoculars from the BirdWatchers Digest group. That is amazing. Just thank you so much. Today, I'd like to speak to you as a young, some of my experience and perspectives. As a young birder, people often ask, why am I so interested in birds? It's kind of an unusual hobby for people my age, and they seem to think it's something special about me or that other kids just aren't interested, but I really do not believe this is true. I think there's a lack of opportunity for a lot of young people. I'm privileged. I've had nearly constant access to natural places, educational programs, and people with the time and ability to mentor me, and it has made all the difference. A lot of these programs and people have come into my life through Tucson Audubon, to them for that. Of all the people I should thank, I think I especially owe gratitude to Sandy Ellers. She introduced me to the Birdathon and Tucson Audubon when I was just 8 years old, and that was transformative for me. Also, David Bygott and Jeanette Hanby. They gave me an early education in birds, took me around our neighborhood on countless birding trips, big and small. And of course, the many, many people who supported me as donors by giving to the Tucson Audubon Society through my Birdathon. They really gave me hope every year, and they're what let me continue my Birdathon with such success. The point is that I got into birds because I had really constant encouragement. I think that if all young people had the mentoring I had, we would have a lot of young birders. So as a young birder, I'd like to share my perspective. I'd like to share how birding is different for me and others of my generation than it has been for any other. When I bird, and I think when others my age bird, we have an extra element of fear. We're afraid that as much of what we see, much of it won't be around for much longer. The kind of things in our future like global warming and extinction crisis, this uncertainty makes us afraid. For us, birding is more than recreation. It's taking time to learn and value endangered creatures. I've heard people say birding is something like how you appreciate the world around you, and I really think it can be that way. I've also heard people say, your generation will save the earth, or your generation can create a better future, but I think this is a little bit unfair. We're going to need a lot of help from people like you to build a generation of nature enthusiasts and birders that's up to this challenge. So as a young birder, I would like to ask you a question. What will you do to help my generation? I've had privilege to access people, places, and programs, but what about those less fortunate? We will need as many bird lovers as possible in my generation to face what's coming. I said I would share a couple wishes. Here are 3 things a young birder wishes for you to do. First, birding is something you really learn by doing. Take kids around a natural area where you live, around a place like the Mason Center or your neighborhood. The only way I can really learn a bird about it. You have knowledge that young people value. Secondly, or more specifically, take someone with you on next year's birdathon, a young person. The birdathon was probably the main reason I've been birding since I was 8. You shouldn't underestimate the power of like a purpose and a little bit of competition for a young person. Or you can donate to things like Tucson Audubon's Young Birders program, which will let them help other experts share these kind of things with kids. Since birders and nature enthusiasts will be so important in the next generation, I think that one of the best things you can do for the future is to give others opportunities like I have gotten. I think Bill Thompson must have been someone who understood this. He dedicated his life to teaching people about birds, especially youth. He was an amazing educator. I'm really, really honored to receive this award in his name, and I will do my best to continue the kind of legacy he left. Thank you very much.